So hi everybody, welcome back to my channel. And I know it's been like a minute since I posted up a video here on YouTube. As most of you guys know, I have a newborn, so it is kind of difficult. I've been trying to keep up with with my Facebook, my Instagram, and my YouTube. It is pretty hard. Anyways, so today I just want to talk about my labor and delivery experience. So yeah, so if you want to watch if you want to watch me talking about my story, just keep on watching. So my due date was April 18th. So okay, well, let me start with saying when I hit 37 weeks, my OB, she started doing the stripping of the membrane that they call it. So to open up, try to thin out your cervix, and just to open things up to things could start moving, because I wasn't dilated at all. And anyway, so at 37 weeks, she did the stripping of the membrane, and that shit hurts like a bitch. And then you know how you see like your OB every week or whatever, the last month. So then the next week, 38 weeks, she did the same thing. So, and then 39 weeks she did the same thing up until 40 weeks, because my due date was the 18th, and obviously I didn't have her the 18th, so I went to the doctor's on the 19th, so the next day. So she did the stripping of the membrane like 4 times, and that shit hurts like a bitch each time. And so like I said, it's just like too thin. I think it's to thin out the cervix. But my cervix was pretty thinned out, she told me, but I just wasn't dilated. And also it opens things up. So by the time I hit 40 weeks, I was it 3.5 or 4? I'm not sure. I was either 3.5 or 4 dilated. So that was the 19th. And then she told me, no, then she did she couldn't find the heartbeat. So then she did an ultrasound there at the clinic, or at her office, I mean. And she, I don't know why, like I noticed that the baby's heart rate wasn't as high as it would be on my other visits. And then she like leaves the room or whatever, and then she comes back and she was like, well, since it's past your due date or whatever, do you mind going to like the hospital? Just I just want to make sure that everything's okay with the baby, and hold on, and everything. So then I was like, well, of course, and I was like all worried. And okay, anyways, I was obviously worried. I was like, well, like what the hell. So then I, right from her office, I drive to the hospital, because that day I was by myself. My boyfriend was working, and I just called him and I told him. And I remember I was crying because I was worried, and like I was crying like crazy, dude. And like I told him, like the heart rate wasn't as high, or like I guess what I consider like normal, how her other visits were. It would drop like a lot. And then so then whatever, I go to the hospital, and then they monitor the baby for like about an hour. And well, the baby and me, I guess. And then after that, they took me to another room, and they did an ultrasound. And that lady had told me that I guess the fluid they like it to be, I think they like it to be above 8. And then if it's under 8, then you have to stay at the hospital. And I guess my pregnancy with her, she was right at 8, or the liquid, I mean, was right at 8. So she's like, I'm gonna call your doctor and let her know. And she's like, but most likely you're gonna stay here. And I was like, oh, okay. So then they took me back to the original room that I was in at the hospital. And then, you know, the lady comes back from, you know, I guess from talking to my doctor. And she was like, oh, your doctor said just to go ahead and go home. And, you know, that she was going to call you or whatever. And to get induced. And I was like, oh, okay, that's fine. She's all like, so I was like, are you sure like everything's gonna be okay, you know, if I leave? She's like, yeah. She said the doctor said just to go home and, you know, just chill for a little. And you're gonna get induced either like, I think they said either like later that night or the next morning. And I was like, okay. So then I go home and well, actually I went to my dad's house, but anyways, so then the doctor calls me and they were like, you know, you have an appointment to get induced tomorrow at 3 a.m. or 3:30 a.m. I'm sorry. And I was like, oh, okay, like, damn, that's fucking early, you know, I have to wake up early. But I was like, okay, whatever, like, I was still worried about my baby, you know, so I was like, okay, that's fine. And also I wanted her, like, to be born already, because I was getting, like, some nasty heartburns, because she was, like, just pushing up on my stomach, like, anyways. So, yeah, so, you know, 3:30 came. I already had everything ready, you know, prepared to go to the hospital. So then we go to the hospital, well, me and my boyfriend, we drive to the hospital, and, you know, I'm just, like, waiting there in the waiting room, very impatient. And then, like, at 4, that's when, I don't know if it was, like, I don't know, I can't remember. It was, like, 4 or 5 when the actual inducement started, when they actually, you know, started the inducement, if that makes sense. I went to the room, you know, I changed, and they gave me all these medicines, well, not medicines, but, you know, the IVs or whatever, but it didn't start to, like I said, it didn't start to, like, 4 or 5, I forget. Anyways, so yeah, so the inducement started, and, like, everything was, you know, chill. Like, I was just obviously nervous. And then a few hours passed by, and then the nurse came and checked me, and I was only at 4. And I was like, oh my gosh, like, it's going by so slow, you know? And then there were, like, she was, like, kept offering me the epidural, but I didn't want to take it then, you know? I was like, no, I was like, I could still handle it. Where was I? Oh, she was pressuring me to get the epidural, and I was like, you know what? I don't want it, because I heard supposedly that if you get the epidural, like, it slows down things, so I don't want to be in labor for, like, a super long time. So, because I'd be hearing people be in labor for, like, 3 days, and no, that was not gonna be me. So I was like, fuck that. I was like, I guess I'll get it once I really, really need it, once I know I can't take the pain anymore. But I was like, I'm gonna try to, you know, push out the time from if that makes sense, from getting that epidural. But obviously, like, the doctor, the nurses and all that, they're like, that's not true and blah blah blah, but whatever. I still, like, thought that, I don't know why. And so I kept telling her, like, no, you know, like, I was feeling contractions, because I was already, like I said, 4 and a half, and I was already getting the contractions, but I wanted to wait. I was like, I you know, it hurts, but not, like, super bad, so I could still handle, like, I could still handle the pain. I'm pretty, when it comes to pain, or some pain, I'm pretty good with taking the pain. So anyway, so that's why I knew that I was able to take, you know, go on and take more pain. But so I wanted to wait till at least, like, 6, but because I heard, like, once you're above 6, supposedly that it's like, you know, you can't get it or whatever. So I was like, no, I want to, like, wait till the last minute. And then, okay, so whatever, she, like, left me alone about that. And then she was a really nice lady, though. There was 2 ladies, because that was in the beginning, and then she switched shifts, you know, to the afternoon lady. So anyways, they were both very, very nice, very, very nice ladies, nurses, I should say. Anyways, so like midday came, like 11, I think it was like between 11 and 1, I forget. The doctor comes and she was like, okay, I'm gonna pop your water. And she also wanted to monitor the baby's heart rate more. How do I say it? Like, I don't know how to say it. I don't know what I'm trying to say. But she was trying to monitor, because they were obviously how they already monitor the baby's heart rate. She just wanted to monitor it, like, I guess better. Whatever, like the word will come to me later in this video, I bet. So then I was like, okay. And yeah, so then she gets everything ready, and then she pops my water, and that shit hurts like a fucking bitch. Like, I thought stripping, like how I was talking in the middle, I mean the beginning of the video, that stripping in the membrane like was hurting, like it hurt like a bitch. No, this hurt like really, really bad. Remember, I didn't have the epidural yet or anything, so that shit fucking hurt. And so I just feel like a lot of, like, obviously the water, you know, like I didn't see anything, but it was, I could feel it, like it was all warm, like if I peed on myself. So anyways, that's how it feels like, and it hurts really, really bad. So as she went in there to pop it, she had another wire to put it in there, and I guess it connects to the baby's, I guess it grabs the baby's head and it monitors the heart rate better than the other machine. So then I was like, okay, whatever. So then that's what she did. And yeah, so then I had like 2 wires in me, like from in there, you know what I mean? And then all these other like wires, so I couldn't get up or anything. And to use a restroom, and I use a restroom, well, I pee a lot. Like, I don't know if I mentioned that in my other videos, but like I think I have like a problem. Like I even went to the doctor for this and everything. Well, anyways, that's a whole different story. Okay, so let me continue with this. So then the doctor and the nurse, like I feel like they kept not pressuring me like in a bad way, but they kept like scaring me, you know, like they were like, well, if you want to get the epidural, you should get it now, because if you wait, you know, it's gonna be too late. We're not gonna be able to get down your contractions very low if you wait too long. And as soon as I popped your water, things are gonna move like this. And she's like, so I recommend that you get it like now or whatever. So then I was like getting all scared, you know. So I was like, okay. I was like, I guess give it to me. And at that time I was 4.5 already. So then the other doctor comes and she gives me, you know, the epidural, whatever. Like they just take it's not as bad as what people say it is. Like people are like, oh my gosh, the fucking epidural, and it's like it's a bitch and this and that. It honestly isn't that bad. Obviously I didn't see the needle or anything. I was facing this way, and they put it on in your back. They just like, I think what people are afraid of, because this is what scared me too, is like the whole preparation. Like they make it seem like if it's so, like, oh my god, you know, because they tape, if not tape, but they have like this plastic thing that they put on your back. Well, it feels like it. Like I said, I didn't see anything. And then they just like tape it down, and then they like make a hole, and then like they clean you. Like they make it so like it feels like so like, oh my gosh, you know, like this is like some serious shit. But it honestly it's just like it just feels like a normal needle, like you getting poked at a normal doctor's office. It's just more fancy stuff, I guess, in the preparation part. So anyways, so that's what they do. And then they put the needle through my back, and it just feels like a little bit of coldness. Like I said, it's not even that bad. It's just, I think the preparation part was the thing that scared me the most, because I was like, oh my gosh, like this is some serious shit. But no, it's not that bad. And then so yeah, so I have that epidural, so I was just like chilling, you know. My legs feel numb as fuck, obviously. So yeah, like I said, I was just chilling, and since your water breaks, they can't really be like checking you that often, because it's higher risk of getting an infection or something like that, or affecting the baby, something like that. So then I was like, okay, whatever. So they weren't checking me that often, and it was, I want to say, it was like around like 3 o'clock when she checked me, and I was still at fucking 4.5. And I was like, are you serious? I was like, I had thought, things were gonna go like this once your water breaks. That's what they were telling me. So I was like, okay, whatever. And, so then anyways, we're just like chilling there. It was me, my boyfriend, and my mom at this time. My mom had actually gone that morning. And they were like, eating and sleeping. Well, they were eating out like in the cafeteria because I was hungry, and I don't want to see them eat because then I knew I wanted to eat, but you know how you can't eat or whatever. So then, but they were just in the room just like chilling with me. It was a really, really nice room, by the way, and it was like really big. Like I said, the staff were great. Well, those two nurses, I don't know about everybody else, but those two nurses were really, really nice, and I love my doctor. She's amazing. Okay, anyways, so then around like of 5:30, I want to say, I started feeling like I had to go use the restroom, like I had to poop, and but I didn't say anything to anybody, since this is my first baby. Like, I didn't know, like, I was like, okay, what the fuck, whatever. I'm just gonna have to hold it, like, obviously, like, I'm not gonna shit on myself, So then, an hour passed by, and then the nurse comes again, and she checks me, and she was like, oh my god, she's like, I could feel the baby's head, I could see it. And then she told my boyfriend, like, you want to see the baby's head? And he like looked, he's like, oh my gosh. He's like, he was all happy. He's like, I could see it. And she was, and I was like, and she was like, just like, checking me and shit. And I was like, well, how far along am I? And she was like, you're 10. And I was like, are you serious? And I got like so nervous. And I was like, oh shit, it's time, And she was like, yeah, you're already 10. And she's like, I'm gonna go call your doctor. And I was like, okay, I was all happy. So then she goes and calls the doctor, and she's like, oh, it's gonna be like, I don't know, like half an hour for her to get there. And I was like, this whole time I thought I had to shit myself. She's like, no, she's like, it's because it's the baby. And I was like, oh, okay. I was like, well, I've been having this feeling for an hour already. But I was like, I didn't want to say anything, because, I didn't know. So I was holding like the baby in there. I guess I'm thinking that I was already 10 previously, before she checked me for that hour. Calls the doctor, and then the doctor comes. Okay, so then the doctor gets there, and she, it was the doctor in the room, the nurse, my boyfriend, my mom, and then I guess like 2 nurses for the baby. But there were, one was on the computer and the other one was kind of like back here, just like kicking it. And obviously the doctor was right here, and the nurse over here, and my boyfriend over here, and my mom was like behind me. Okay, anyways, so they were like, okay, I'm gonna start pushing or whatever, like, how they like tell you the instructions to push. And I was like, okay. So then I start pushing, and the baby, I pushed out her like in 20 minutes. And I don't know, I think that's kind of fast. Well, some people say it's not, but I think it is, because I've been hearing some girls say that they took like an hour pushing, and I pushed her out in 20 minutes. So I don't know, I think I did pretty good. So yeah, and it was like crazy because my baby is a big baby. At the hospital, they told me that she was 22 inches, but I don't know, because at the hospital they told me 22 inches. When I went for her 3-day checkup or whatever, they told me she was 21.5 or 21 inches. And then I have a nurse that comes to my house, and she also measured her, and she said she was 20 inches. So I don't know, it's somewhere between 20 inches and 22 inches she was. So I'm just gonna go off with what the hospital says. They told me she was 22 inches and she weighed 8 pounds 8 ounces. But she was a big baby, and it's crazy because I'm not big. I'm 5'3" or 5'4", and before I got pregnant, I was 100 pounds, and up to the day that I went to the hospital, I weighed 133. And my boyfriend, he's like an average size man, I guess. You know, he's, you know, like, he's not big or anything. So I thought that I was gonna have, everybody thought that I was gonna have a small baby. But no, everybody was like fooled and surprised. Like, even like the doctor was like, "Oh my gosh, Jasmine, like, how do you have such a big baby?" You know, she's like, where was she? You know, she was like hiding in there. And I was like, I know, because some people thought that my belly wasn't like too big, you know. But everybody, like my whole family, my boyfriend's family, me, like, everybody was surprised, you know, like that she was a pretty big baby. And so, okay, I know I'm like jumping around. So she came out, and then she was, I mean, all babies are like this, like super blue and stuff. And obviously I got scared, and because she wasn't crying right away. And then like the doctor and like the doctor for the nurse for the baby, like, they were kind of like talking real quick. And then my mom, because I asked my mom after, she was like, oh, she was like gasping for air. And then that's when they do like the suction thing. But I think all babies go through that. So after that, you know, they just laid her on top of me, and I don't remember, like, everything's a blur, honestly, from that moment. I just remember her being on top of me, and like, she was like, you know, bluish purplish. And I asked them, I was like, why is she this color, you know? And they were like, oh, you know, that's normal, she's gonna get her color, you know, within time. And I was like, oh, okay. And then that's when they took her, and that's when they weighed her and did all that. And so yeah, my boyfriend obviously cut the umbilical cord. And then when I had to push out the placenta, that shit felt weird. Like, it didn't hurt or anything, obviously, because I had epidural. But it just feels like a big blah. That's honestly what I felt like. Blah. Like, you know, like releasing from there. And yeah, that's basically what happened that night. And I remember I was super hungry, and I kept bugging the nurse if it was possible for her to please bring me food, because I was so hungry. And yeah, she, like I said, she was really nice. So she went, got me food, and like something light, you know, like crackers and cheese. I think I had a muffin, some grapes. It was like a little like lunchbox thing. So yeah, so that's what I had to eat, and I felt so much better after I ate. And I was breastfeeding the baby, so, you know, everything was like, you know, like, I was still like tripping out, you know, like, oh shit, like, this is like my baby, and all was crazy, but like in a good way. And then my boyfriend's family, his mom and his dad came in the room, and, you know, like, you know, seen the baby, took pictures. And then my dad came with his family, his girlfriend, his 2 little kids, his girlfriend's son, my sister. My sister was with him at the time, so yeah, he brought her, and they all came, and, you know, seen the baby. And then my boyfriend's sister came with her husband. And yeah, so, you know, it was just like close family that came and seen the baby that night. And it was around 9 o'clock when everybody was there. I had her at 7:48. I think I forgot to mention that, what time I had her. So yeah, she came out at 7:48. And so yeah, then, you know, they just took me to another room, and more family came the next day, and friends. And we were there for like about 2 days, and we went home. So yeah, that's my story on my labor and delivery, what happened. So yeah, thank you guys for watching, and I'm pretty sure this is a long ass video. I don't know, we'll see. Like I said, I'm gonna try to make more videos often here on YouTube, as well as my Facebook. Just thank you guys for watching. this video and all my other previous videos. If you want to check out my makeup videos and some of my live videos now that I'm doing, and makeup photos, just check out my Facebook, Only Jasmine, and my Instagram is only_Jasmine. My Snapchat is like my YouTube, Jasmine F, but _Garcia. So yeah, thank you guys again.